These are the top 3 scariest and terrifying dinosaurs in the history. These dinosaurs had creepy appearances and frightening voices. T-Rex. The face of the Tyrannosaurus Rex is one of the most terrifying images from prehistoric times. With its enormous skull measuring over 5 feet long, the sheer size of its head is enough to strike fear into any creature that might have seen it. Its wide, muscular jaws housed more than 50 sharp, serrated teeth that could reach lengths of up to 12 inches, designed not just to bite, but to crush bone. This monstrous jawline gave the T-Rex a look of brute force and savage power. The eyes of the T-Rex were positioned slightly forward, which meant it had binocular vision. This gave it better depth perception, allowing it to judge distances accurately, perfect for hunting. The placement of its eyes also added to its menacing expression, giving it a focused, predatory stare. Imagine being a small animal in the Cretaceous forest and locking eyes with a T-Rex from below. Those cold, calculating eyes would be the last thing you ever saw. Its brow ridges, the bony structures above its eyes, made the T-Rex look even more intense. These ridges cast shadows over its eyes, giving its face a permanently angry or scowling appearance. This wasn't just a facial feature, it helped protect its eyes during a fight or when struggling with large prey. But to a human observer, it would look like the dinosaur was constantly glaring, ready to charge. The snout of a T-Rex was long, ridged, and full of bumps and textures. Fossil evidence shows that its face may have been covered in a rough, scaly hide with sensory nerves near the mouth. This may have helped it sense touch or movement. But visually, the textured snout would have looked monstrous, less like a modern reptile and more like something out of a nightmare. Adding to its scary appearance was the way the skin might have looked in life. While some scientists believe parts of its body may have had scales, others suggest there might have been areas of feather-like covering. However, the face of the T-Rex is generally believed to be scaly and rough, making it appear more like a massive, armored beast than anything bird-like. The teeth were always visible, even when its mouth was closed. Some paleontologists believe the T-Rex's lips didn't cover its teeth entirely, meaning its jagged, blood-stained fangs could be seen jutting out of its jaws. Just the sight of these exposed teeth, dripping with saliva or flesh, would have been enough to terrify any prey or any human imagining such a sight today. Its nostrils, positioned near the front of its snout, were wide and capable of detecting scents from far away. These weren't just functional, they also gave the face a more grotesque look. They were part of the overall design that screamed hunter. Along with the sunken areas of bone near the jaws, the face appeared almost skeletal in some parts, like a monster halfway between flesh and bone. The lower jaw was wide and slightly bowed, allowing for a tremendous bite force. When open, its mouth formed a massive V shape, capable of swallowing smaller prey whole. From the front, it would look like a gaping cavern of doom, with sharp blades ready to clamp down with bone-crushing force. Imagine that mouth lunging toward you in a sprint. It's the stuff of horror movies. When the T-Rex roared or made any sound, it's believed that its mouth could stretch incredibly wide, showing every terrifying tooth and dark recess of its throat. Although we don't know the exact sound it made, the visual of a giant predator with a massive, open mouth, flared nostrils, and vibrating, scaly skin is pure nightmare fuel. Altogether, the face of the T-Rex wasn't just scary, it was the perfect design for terror. Every angle of its head, from the forward set eyes to the brutal bite and textured snout, gave off the image of a beast that ruled with fear. To see one face to face in the flesh would have triggered every instinct to run, hide, or freeze in dread. Velociraptor. The face of a velociraptor is both creepy and unnerving, especially when you imagine it up close and in motion. Unlike the massive T-Rex, the velociraptor had a narrow, almost snake-like skull with sharp, bird-like features that made it appear eerily intelligent and fast. Its long, tapered snout was lined with rows of small but razor-sharp teeth that curved slightly backward, perfect for gripping and tearing into flesh. Its mouth alone gave it a sinister, deadly look. Its eyes were large in proportion to its head and face slightly forward, giving it binocular vision. This made it stare deeply focused and predatory. The eyes were round and dark, possibly capable of seeing in low light, which would make it even creepier during a nighttime hunt. That intense, unblinking stare would have been enough to make any prey or person freeze in fear. What made the Velociraptor's face especially creepy was its bird-like structure, paired with reptilian traits. It had a beak-like snout, but still kept those sharp teeth, creating a disturbing combination of familiar and alien. You might recognize some features as bird-like, but the overall effect was something far more sinister, like a hawk crossed with a lizard, built for killing. Adding to the horror was the presence of feathers. While the Velociraptor likely had feathers covering parts of its body, its face may have been more exposed, showing off scaly textures, a dry, wrinkled snout, and thin lips that couldn't hide its teeth. This mix of features gave it a disturbing look, blending ancient reptile with deadly bird. Its nostrils were placed near the front of the snout, and likely helped it smell prey from a distance. Visually, they added to the animal's intense, alert appearance. The whole front of its face, from its slightly flared nostrils to its narrow jaws, gave it a focused, always hunting expression. It looked like a creature constantly on the edge of attack. The way its jaws opened was quick and sharp, not wide and gaping like larger dinosaurs. When a Velociraptor opened its mouth, it revealed not just sharp teeth, but also speed. Its movements were fast and precise, making its attack sudden and deadly. The motion of its head and mouth was more like a striking eagle or snake than a roaring monster. Its face was also expressive in a disturbing way. Some scientists believe raptors could show subtle movements in their faces and heads, indicating curiosity, awareness, and possibly even social interaction. This would make its appearance even more terrifying, because it suggests it wasn't just a mindless predator, but something that could think, plan, and watch you. The thinness of its face and the tight structure of the skull made it appear sleek and dangerous. Nothing about the Velociraptor looked soft or slow. Its entire facial design pointed to speed, precision, and killing efficiency. Even without massive jaws, its lean, dagger-like snout looked like a weapon in itself. Even worse, the Velociraptor likely made clicking, screeching, or hissing sounds based on bird and reptile behavior. Imagine that unsettling face slowly turning toward you, eyes locking on, mouth parting slightly as it lets out a high-pitched hiss or low growl. That sound, coming from such a creepy face, would be enough to send chills down your spine. The Velociraptor's face was terrifying not because of its size, but because of what it represented: a clever, fast, and ruthless predator. Its focused eyes, sharp teeth, and bird-like posture gave it a look that suggested it was always thinking, always stalking. That chilling combination of intelligence and aggression made its appearance one of the most disturbing among all dinosaurs. Spinosaurus. The face of Spinosaurus is uniquely creepy and terrifying in a way that sets it apart from other large predators. Its skull was long, narrow, and shaped more like a crocodile's than a typical dinosaur's, which gave it a strange, unnatural appearance. The snout stretched out with a slight upward curve, giving it a sinister grin even when its mouth was closed. Its face looked more like a water-dwelling nightmare than a land predator. One of the most unsettling features of the Spinosaurus was its long, sharp teeth. Instead of jagged, bone-crushing fangs like those of a T-Rex, it had straight, conical teeth built for gripping slippery prey like fish. These teeth lined both the upper and lower jaws, and when the mouth opened, it revealed rows of spikes that looked like a deadly fish trap. Seeing that mouth open wide, with a snake-like skull and dozens of teeth, would be deeply disturbing. Its eyes were small compared to its massive head and located higher up on the skull, giving it an eerie, crocodilian appearance. This high placement made it look like it was always watching from the water, waiting to ambush prey. Its gaze didn't have the forward-facing intensity of a raptor, but instead gave off the cold, lurking look of a silent hunter, detached and patient. The nostrils of Spinosaurus were positioned further back on the snout, allowing it to breathe while mostly submerged. This added to its creepy image. It looked like a creature built for stalking from below the surface. Its long face combined with those backward nostrils gave it an alien, unsettling vibe, like it didn't belong with the rest of the dinosaurs. Adding to the horror was the texture of the face. Based on modern reconstructions, the Spinosaurus likely had scaly, crocodile-like skin on its snout. The rough, uneven surface would have made it look even more monstrous, especially up close. Combined with water dripping from its jaws and flesh hanging from its teeth, its appearance would have been pure nightmare fuel. The way Spinosaurus opened its mouth was wide and sudden, revealing not only sharp teeth, but a surprisingly deep throat and long tongue. Its jaw motion may have been less dramatic than a T-Rex, but more calculated, snapping down quickly like a crocodile's death grip. That sudden strike, coming from a face that was half hidden in murky water, would terrify any nearby creature. Unlike many other predators, Spinosaurus didn't roar in the way popular media often portrays. If it made vocalizations, they might have been deep, guttural growls or low rumbles, like those of modern crocodilians. Picture its long, tooth-filled face slowly rising from the water, nostrils flaring, then letting out a deep, menacing rumble, quiet, but full of danger. Its face was also extremely long, nearly 6 feet, just from snout to back of the skull. That kind of length made it look exaggerated, almost unnatural. It gave the Spinosaurus a dragon-like quality, with a deadly elegance. The sheer size of the head alone, moving silently through the water or peeking through foliage, added to its chilling effect. What made it even more terrifying was that the Spinosaurus didn't look like it belonged on land or in water. It looked like it belonged in both. That amphibious face, full of teeth and adapted to both stalking and lunging, looked like something out of a horror movie. It didn't just look like a killer. It looked like it came from a different world. The face of Spinosaurus is creepy, not just because of how it looked, but because of what it suggested. It was quiet, calculated, and deadly. With a long snout, sharp gripping teeth, cold eyes, and the ability to strike from water or land, its face was the perfect image of a prehistoric predator that didn't just chase, but hunted.